Hello, everybody. Welcome back to The Way That I See It. My name is Lucy Superfox, and this is my podcast. So today, I want to talk about two things. I want to talk about seeking validation, and I want to talk about imposter syndrome, because I truly believe those two things are massively connected. So first things first, what am I talking about when I say imposter syndrome? So imposter syndrome is a psychological syndrome where basically you have this story or belief that runs through your head that says, I'm not good enough, I'll get found out, I'm not who they think I am, I'm not as good as people make out, I can't do this, I'm not qualified. Basically, a collection of limiting beliefs and stories that all culminate in an area of life where you maybe don't feel confident or secure, and you start telling this story and this overwhelming feeling that you're not who people think that you are. And what I can tell you is I have felt this in every single area of my life. I have felt this in business. I felt this in careers. I felt this in relationships. I felt this in my body goals. I feel this in outfits. Sometimes I put on an outfit and I'm like, oh God, what if people think this about me? And maybe I'm not what I should be, I should be thinner than this. And I should be like, I've done it all, right? So I want you to know this comes from firsthand experience of imposter syndrome. But what I also know to be true is that imposter syndrome can be healed and can be worked through and can be recovered from through simply doing a few things. And the first one of those few things is doing personal development, right? Because we get what we believe is possible for us. We get what we're available for. I've said that probably 10,000 times. And so you are currently getting the life that you're available for. Now, I'm not saying that's the life that you want. I'm not saying it's the life that you feel you deserve. I'm just telling you it's what you're available for. There is something in you right now that is getting from your life what it believes is available for you. So what you've got to realize is that you are the creator of your destiny. And if you don't believe that, you should probably turn off my podcasts, because I do believe that. And I generally feel that if you aren't aligned with that core belief, then we aren't going to get on. So, and again, I don't need somebody on the internet to validate me. I don't need 1,000 people to listen to this. I just want the people to listen to this who genuinely resonate with the content, right? So if you don't believe that you create your destiny, or at least have a part to play in the co-creation of your destiny, then there's no point listening to the rest of my podcast, because we're not going to align, because that's a core belief that I hold. But the point being that your core beliefs, in line with the fact that you get to create your destiny, are creating your current life experience. So therefore, the imposter syndrome, the feelings that you have around your current life, you get to look at your life and go, hey, I did this. I deserve this because I created this. Like, nothing was handed to you. I want you to know that. And I've definitely wrestled with this concept when it comes to money and people who may be born into money. I've wrestled with the fact that maybe it was handed to them. But I've met a lot of wealthy people who are born into money who spunked it all up the wall. And I've met a lot of people who are born into money who really made it work for them. And that's because they always get what they're available for. So fair play to them for creating a life where they kept the money or grew the money or spunked the money, whatever they wanted to do, right? So what I want you to know is that if you're having an imposter syndrome about an area of your life right now, that's just an area of life that you need to get to work on your belief system. There is nothing that you can do to build belief in that area of life other than build belief in that area of life. Like, I see this so much with people in like the fitness space. They're like, you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to get another qualification because another course is going to fix this lack of self-confidence. You know what I'm going to do? I'm just going to learn more knowledge and read more books, because more knowledge is going to make me feel more confident. And I will tell you that 99% of the most successful and profitable people in business are not the smartest people I know, right? Some of the smartest, most educated people I know are people who are professors, teachers, doctors, and they get paid flat wages, right? They get paid by the system and they are overworked and underpaid. So what I want you to wrap your head around the fact is that your knowledge and your skills are not connected to your worth. Your worth is a direct result of what you believe. So this comes to your self-worth, your net worth, your relationship worth. Like, you are getting what you're available for. So if there's something in your life right now where you feel imposter syndrome, where you feel, and this is why I link this conversation with needing validation, where you're seeking a lot of validation, or you don't believe that you're worthy of the thing that you're seeking, then that's where the work is, babe. The work is in believing that you are worthy. The work is in knowing that you're worthy. And by knowing, I don't mean logically writing out on paper all the reasons why you do, right? What I mean is knowing in your body, knowing in your soul, knowing in your energy. And that knowing comes from doing the self-belief work, all the work that I talk about, all the work we do in my courses, right? And like right now, the confidence course is open for enrollment. So if you're finding this is something you're struggling with, and this is the course for you, because you've got to go through that stage of clearing. You've got to clear out the past. You've got to clear out the noise and the reasons that say you can't have it. You've got to then do the healing work to really like recover, to change the inner stories, change the inner narratives. Then you've got to restore yourself, give yourself the energy, the compassion, the the love, but also the tools and resources it needs to grow. And then you can move into the manifesting phase. That's when you can get into the creation stage of life. And then you step into that next version of yourself, right? What most people try to do is skip the fucking work. And I can tell you that the work is the shortcut, right? There is no shortcut other than doing the fucking work. And so if right now you are trying to buy every course going and you are trying to overeducate yourself and give yourself all the letters after your name in the hope that that will make you feel more fucking qualified, I can tell you it will not. It might for the instant that you get to post on Facebook with your new certificate or you add the letters to your name. And look, this is not diminishing, continued professional development. That's not what this is about. This is about me saying, and this is a quote from, I think, a woman called JJ Lewis, no amount of strategy, so strategy would be an implementation, like a new course, like an education, will fix a mindset issue. So here is my piece of advice to you. If you want to fix a mindset issue, how about go to work on your mindset? So if there's an area of life where you feel like you've got imposter syndrome or you don't feel like you're worthy of where you are, I can tell you won't get to keep the manifestation. It won't stay, because what happens is we're available for. So energetically, if you are trying to push away the thing that you've got, there is no law of exclusion. There's only the law of attraction. So if you are putting negative energy towards the thing that you want, what you're actually doing is giving that a very low vibration. So you're not giving good energy to things that you want, and you're actually giving a lot of energy to the things that you don't want, which is losing the job or losing the partner or whatever it might be, right? So what you've got to get really clear behind is the fact that you are where you are. You created your experience. This hasn't happened by accident. This has happened on purpose, by intention. You are where you are today because of every single decision you've made up to this point. Every single energetic decision, every single physical decision, every single habit, every single behavior, every single everything has led you to this point. So if where you are right now, you feel an imposter about that, honey, you created your experience. So if you've got something really good right now and you're afraid you're going to lose it, the work is not to push it away or destroy it. The work is to help yourself believe that you get to be where you are. And I've just given you the biggest tip you could ever take from this, which is you created your environment. So if there's something in your environment that you don't feel worthy of, you got to create that. So that must mean that you're worthy of it, because we don't receive anything we don't believe we're worthy of, but we can lose something that we don't believe we're worthy of. So I'm not here to fearmonger you into fear-based manifestation. What I'm here saying to you is, your work is to do the work on your worth. I have had to do this. I have had to do this work over and over and over and over to believe I was worthy of love, to believe I was worthy of the business, to believe I was worthy of the next level income. I have had to do it over and over and over, because sometimes the human in you just wants to keep you safe so freaking desperately that it fills you with fear about the thought of losing the thing. And then that makes you question whether you should have the thing in the first place. But what I want you to, and that makes you seek validation, bring me to my next point. But what I want you to know is, if you created it, if you attracted it, if you manifested it, if it happened, you're worthy of it. Fact. And even if it hasn't manifested, but you're on the journey, you're obviously worthy of it, because the journey wouldn't be materializing out of thin air. Because I don't believe in thin air. I believe we create our destiny, right? So with that in mind, if there's an area of your life that you're still seeking validation, and right, so here's the difference. I just talked about this on Instagram, but where's the difference between validation and collaboration? So validation is not trusting yourself to make a decision, is using someone else to make decisions for you or vote on your life for you or give you basically make decisions on your behalf because you don't trust yourself. And collaboration is saying, okay, so I've decided I'm going to wear a pink dress, but I can't decide whether I should do short or long. And the friend goes, I guess, will you be cold? They'll ask you good questions like, will you be cold? Will you want to wear a jacket? What kind of shoes are you thinking of wearing? Not wear the short one. Right? So what I want you to know is, collaboration is about having someone to have a conversation with, to bounce back and forth with. This is what my coaching is about. If I'm totally honest, the way I coach my clients now is I don't make decisions for them, right? That's not what a coach does. I empower them to make decisions for themselves. I give them tools, I give them resources, I give them information, I give them knowledge, I give them support, I give them emotional love, whatever it is. But I don't enable them. I don't make decisions for them. I don't tell them they need to do X, Y, and Z. It's why I don't do prescriptive coaching, because I don't think it works. I think it's bullshit. I don't believe in teaching a formula for building a business. I believe in teaching you resources. I believe there's things that every single person can do and strategies that everyone can follow. But like I said, no strategy will fix a mindset issue. Most of the reasons that I work with anyone is a mindset issue, whether it's money mindset, confidence mindset, relationships, it's all mindset, right? That's why I'm a mindset coach, honeys. Okay. So if there's an area of your life where you're still allowing someone else to make decisions for you, and the challenge is, if you're allowing that person to make a decision for you, they will just make a decision for you because they would rather make a decision for you than have an ongoing battle back and forth, because no one likes to feel like they are the person that needs to validate the other person. It's exhausting and draining. I had this conversation with a friend actually this weekend who was talking about someone in their life, and they feel exhausted and drained every single time this person needs this validation. And that is just not, that's not a healthy relationship. Like, so if there's an area of your life where you're looking for validation, right? So let me give you an example. So if every time I put something on, I had to say to Josh, do I look all right? Do you think this looks okay? Right? He would get to the point where he would be sick of me saying that. He would just walk into him and go, you look fine. And he wouldn't even look, right? And that's not what I want to feel. What I want to feel is seen. So where in your life are you seeking validation? And is it because you want to be seen? Is it because you want to be heard? Is it because you don't feel recognized? Is it because you don't feel loved? And I don't mean by that person, I mean in general. Because you get to create the being seen, the being loved, the being heard, the being recognized for yourself. Because that's what I've done. I've created that for myself. I'm like, I do the work to believe in myself. I do the work to know I'm worthy. I take the action because I have dreams and goals and manifestations that I want to create. And therefore, because of that, I am worthy of the end result. And when I get the end result, that is all the validation I will ever need that I am good enough, or that I am seen, or that I am heard, because I've created the manifestation that I set out to create. And so looking at where you are still requiring validation shows you where there's work to be done. And honestly, when you do that, when you look at where you still need validation, it will pull up probably a core wound. And I'm going to talk about that in a few weeks when I interview my therapist. So my therapist is going to be joining us on the podcast, as is one of my spiritual healing teachers and my Reiki practitioner, and a few other people going to be coming on the podcast. I'm going to be getting them to share with you kind of what their specialisms are. I'm going to talk about my experience of each of the things I've worked with them on, for your benefit, really, just so that kind of debunk and demystify. But one of the things I'm going to be talking about with my therapist is sharing with you about core wounds and talking about protector parts, which are basically, a core wound is a deep underlying kind of story that I'm not good enough, I'm not seen, I'm not heard, I'm not loved, that then feeds a lot of limiting beliefs. And a lot of people will do the top surface work to clear the limiting beliefs, but then won't necessarily do the deeper work to clear or recognize or heal the core wound. So where you ask yourself the question, where am I seeking validation? Actually, that's a really enlightening factor about where you need to get to work. So imposter syndrome is not real. It's a mindset issue based on the fact that you don't feel worthy of something that you have manifested or created. But by the fact that you have manifested or created it, you are worthy if you believe that you co-create your destiny. And if there's an area of your life you are still seeking validation versus collaboration, then there is work to be done. So that's all I have to say for this week. So I love you all very much. Have the most beautiful week, and I'll see you on the next episode.